Good morning and welcome again to Kimmel Bay Vlog, where we're looking now at a series on our summer favourites. And I want to share with you a few thoughts about my favourite hymn. It can be difficult choosing a favourite hymn, can't it? So often it depends on our mood. There are hymns that express tremendous joy and exuberance, our Christian faith. Others are more meditative, more quiet and thoughtful. Others express or help us to express real sadness, some nostalgia. Sometimes we say, I like the hymns of long ago. Well, you would, wouldn't you, because you were younger then. But the hymn that I've chosen, the hymn that I love, it sums up for me the Christian message and experience. Here is love, vast as the ocean, loving kindness as the flood. Now, why do I love it? Well, I love it because, first of all, it was written in Welsh, and then translated into English. Dyma gariad fel y moroedd, tostyriaethau fel y llu, a tywysog bywyd, pur yn marw, marw I brynu'n bywyd ni. It was written in Welsh and then translated into English that we sing today. And I love it because it expresses my roots, born in Wales, speaking Welsh, learning Welsh. Often I will begin devotions in the college where I teach, and I will announce this hymn, and I will quote the first verse in Welsh, not only to show off, but just to show its roots in the Welsh language. It was a hymn that became the love song of the Welsh revival in 1904, originally written in Welsh, as I said, written by a Welsh poet. It was written by William Rhys, a farmer's son. Would you believe he was born in North Wales? The author of this lovely hymn was born in 1802 in a farm near Llansannan, near Denbigh. A shepherd, well, another reason why I love it, a shepherd before becoming an independent preacher in 1831. And the third verse, there is a third verse, not often sung, but it was written later in English, and really, to be honest, it seems to lack the feel of love and power of this wonderful hymn. Here is love, vast as the ocean. It was sung regularly during the Welsh Revival, 1904, by Annie Davies, a lovely Welsh soprano that would sing alongside Evan Roberts, the revivalist preacher of those days. My favourite version is one by Robin Mark, Irish, and it has a Celtic tone to it, and hopefully we'll be able to listen to it after I share these few thoughts. And it talks of the love of Jesus shown on the cross. But not just the shown on the cross then, but the effects of it now. Not just a historical death, but how it affects us today. Here is love. Even though there are many things sad and unpredictable that cause anxiety, here in the Christian message is love. Vast as the ocean. Vast, all-encompassing. Now, those living by the sea or not far away from the sea, here in North Wales, we have the privilege of going to the beach, maybe on a good day, and you see how all-inclusive the sea is, how close we are to the vastness, all-encompassingness of the sea. Such is God's love. Vast, encompassing us all, loving kindness as the flood. Again, the image of overwhelming love, flood waters overwhelming us. So often, in our anxiety and in our fear and in our doubt, we have a small self, a small view of ourself. And yet as we bathe in God's love, as we come and realise and accept his love for us, we will realise we're part of a wider story. God's love includes us in. We include ourselves out because we're not worthy or because we don't want to give up. But God's love includes us in. There are hymns that make us feel guilty. Hymns that are full of doctrine for doctrine's sake, aren't there? Now, not like the hymns of Charles Wesley. I love those. Those are hymns that are filled with doctrine, written for folk that maybe couldn't be present to understand teaching, so they would be filled with theology. But some hymns, they make you feel guilty about how you ought to believe or feel. But this one, Here is Love, goes straight to the heart, because it was written from the heart. the vast, overwhelming love of God for us, for you and for me. Where the Prince of Life, Toasog Boed, our ransom, shed for us his precious blood, the blood of Jesus, shed for many, shed for sinners, shed for me. The second verse says, on the Mount of Crucifixion. Nothing sentimental here. God's love isn't sentimental. There was a cost. And yet here is where love is found. Here is where the price was paid, on the open hill of Calvary. Jesus, the victim of cruelty, fountains open, deep and wide. You see again the image of vastness, flowing, not exclusive, only for the special, the chosen, the elect. No, through the floodgates of God's mercy flows a vast and gracious tide. We live near Disseth waterfall. Sometimes I go and see that. Amazing to think there used to be coach trips organised from Manchester to see Disseth waterfall. How the world has changed, but the waterfall's still there, and the water flows, the overflowing, amazing spring water, just like God's love for you and me, never ending. An endless supply, grace and love like mighty rivers, heaven's peace and perfect justice kissed a guilty world in love. Yeah. So I hope that Darren or Elaine, by magic arts, can put this lovely hymn for us now so we can enjoy it and just celebrate God's love for us today.
Here is love, vast as the ocean, loving kindness as the flood. When the Prince of Life, our ransom, shed for us his precious blood, who his love will not remember, who can cease to sing his praise. He can never be forgotten throughout heaven's eternal day. On the Mount of Crucifixion, fountains open deep and wide. Through the floodgates of God's mercy flowed a vast and gracious tide. Grace and love like mighty rivers poured incessant from above, and heaven's peace and perfect justice kissed the guilty world in love. Here is love vast as the ocean. Here is love vast as the ocean, loving kindness as the flood. When the Prince of Life, our ransom, shed for us his precious blood, who his love will not remember, who can cease to sing his praise. He can never be forgotten throughout heaven's eternal days. On the Mount of Crucifixion, on the Mount of Crucifixion.